What is up, Nerd Nation? It's your boy Hunter here from Film Nerd TV, and tonight we have another edition of the Nerd List. It's episode 5. We are finally getting to the best Game of Thrones TV characters. And you guys know I can't do this alone, so I'm joined by a panel of great people. So let's start off with the Hobbit, Robert Parker. You're back.
I'm back. I'm here. This is one that has probably been pushed off partially due to me, so I'm sorry. But we're finally here, and I'm really excited to count this one down with this panel.
Yep. And we have, is it Michael?
Yeah, that's me. Hey
How you
guys.
doing, bro?
I'm good. I've been waiting to do this podcast. I made multiple lists. I lost to one, so I had to remake a new one today. So I'm here and ready.
Yep. We have a returning Jessica. How's it going?
Oh, it's going. Thank God it's actually starting to get cooler around here. I could pull out the fur for the occasion.
Yes. And of course, the Titan/Cobra Chance.
Hey, we still got this done before George R. R. Martin brought the dragon, so we're still on time by my standards.
It'll take years for that to happen.
Exactly.
Yep. All right, so let me go through how this works for people who are at home. We do a nomination to our nomination of a top 10 list. Then we knock down 3 of them to our top 7 and rank them 7 to 1. So let's start off with Robert with his first nomination.
All right, so there's lots of ways to sort of organize this list. You could do it by their impact on the story or how much screen time they get or the physical performance by the actor. There's way too many I'm trying to think of the word. There's way too many markers for how you can really judge a character. So for me personally, I went on sort of a combination of the performance, but also how much I personally like them, no matter what their screen time is, and how much of an impact they had on me. So even if they had a ton of screen time and a ton of impact on the story, but I didn't really connect with them as a character, didn't really make as high as on my list. So with that being said, my character that I'm going to throw out right off the bat is, I think, probably the character, a fan favorite, Tyrion Lannister. Is easily one of the top Game of Thrones characters, easily in the top 10. I think this is a character who, isn't somebody who's just big and braggadocious and just goes out and fights and kills everybody in that spirit of Game of Thrones, but he's very much a mental player of the game, has worked in King's Landing, has worked in Daenerys. So I think over all of the seasons that he's been in, he's really grown as a character, and I think he's really earned the respect of a lot of fans. So I'm going Tyrion.
All right, Michael, yes or no for Tyrion Lannister?
I will have to agree with Rob. I say yes, that he should be in the top 10.
Perfect.
Okay, very simple. Jess?
Oh, I don't know if it's just how the character is written or how he's being played, but God, Tyrion is easily the best of the Lannister/Baratheons, hands down.
The King's Landing crew, yeah.
The King's Landing crew. So it's a yes for you, Jess?
Yeah, it's a yes.
All right, so Tyrion Lannister makes our first spot. Chance, what would you have said?
Oh yeah, Tyrion Lannister was he was on my top 10. I think he easily gets in. He's one of my favorite characters on TV today. He's one of my favorite characters in the history of television on HBO. I think he's phenomenal. And Peter Dinklage's proven that you don't need to be regular size to truly steal a show.
Yep, and I'm gonna say is Imp Slap. Hell yes, he makes the list. Let's go on to Michael with his nomination.
Fuck up.
Well, my nomination will have to be Arya. She is one of the most badass characters in Game of Thrones. You can't deny that. She is a pure assassin trained from, I don't know how to say it, like a priest or a priest of the god. Faceless Men. Yeah, that's what it is. I forgot about that. And she had basically took so many beatings while blind. She had to learn how to fight blind, and then that determination that she had to have to get to fight through this, and eventually fighting that that one girl, I can't think of her name.
The waif.
The waif, yes.
Come at me, Jim Green.
Yeah, it's like fighting her and this proving that she is better and she can be a part of the Faceless Men, and actually taking her face and then going on to her and revenging her brother and her mother's life from Walder Frey, and this proving that she.
Dance's internet has failed him again, apparently.
And proving that she should be in the top 10 list for Game of Thrones, and that she's just a strong character and a strong person to deal with.
All right, Jess, we have Arya Stark. Yes or no?
I'll be honest, I kind of didn't care much for Arya at all up until she started training with the Faceless Man. Like, that was kind of when her character kind of started to really click for me. But since then, oh holy hell, has she become the B to the A. And yes, I censored myself for you, Hunter.
You don't have to. Okay. So, yes.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put her on the list, yeah.
All right, Chance, Arya Stark, yes or no?
It's really interesting because for a little bit, like for a while, Arya was one of my least favorite parts of the show, but like she's really grown. I think she's had one of those interesting arcs of the entire series, and yeah, I give Arya a yes.
All right, so it goes on to me. I had her on my list. I'm giving her a yes. Michael talked about all the stuff she is. She's pretty much just a badass character in general, whether it's fighting with the Faceless Men to killing Walter Frey with one of the best lines ever. Right in third. Yes. So Arya Stark makes the list. Robert, what would you have said?
I actually would have said no, because
Really?
she is a badass character now, but for the first 5 seasons, she was the worst part of the show. Hot Pie was a better character than her for the first 5 seasons of the
I'll fight you on that
show.
one later. But
I think she is incredibly interesting now, but even when she was training with the Faceless Men, she just like walked around Bravos and got stabbed. Like, if she was an actual smart trained assassin, why did she let herself get almost murdered? Like, I think even her arc, once she has gotten to Bravos, has left a little bit to be desired for me. So I think it's just a personal thing that, like, I think while her arc has gotten a lot better as the show has gone on, I think there's still a lot to go, and I think it could have still been even better. So I would have said no, but you know, she's on it anyways.
Robert with the hot take, starting early.
This is the first of many.
All right, let's move on to Jess.
Okay, I know we've gotten a couple of the quote-unquote big characters out of the way, but I kind of want to throw out there a guy who kind of started from nothing and got thrown into the unholy mess that is the battle for the kingdoms, and who's kind of gone from tan to an asshole to a generally all around like just decent human being and an actual nobleman worthy of the title of Sir. And I want to put out there Sir Davos.
Ooh. Okay.
I enjoyed his character arc immensely.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead, Robert.
Hell yes, this is my favorite character on the show. Absolutely. Liam Cunningham, this is the best performance out of any character in the entire show. This is the most interesting character in every single thing he does, whether he's with Stannis, whether he's with Daenerys. This is absolutely the best character on the show, the best written character, somebody who was a smuggler, who was punished and had his fingers cut off by Stannis, all the way to using that. We see his relationship with Shireen, which is the most sweet moments of the entire show, especially during that season when he does interact with Shireen, and when we see him lose his son at the Battle of Blackwater Bay. That's a really intense scene. Yeah, absolutely Davos needs to be on this list.
All right, Chance?
Yes. I get that was a yes.
He's like, Robert said everything.
Yeah,
Mike-
I like Davos a lot. He reminds me a lot of Jean Reno, but he's not Jean Reno. I always call him Leon the Unprofessional because it's actually he looks like he played him. But no, yeah, I like Davos a lot, and yeah, I'll give him a yes to be on the list.
All right, Michael.
He actually was not in my top 10. He was one of my honorable mentions. But I do like Davos, and he does deserve a top 15 spot though.
He's on anyways.
Yeah. Well, he's on now.
Yeah.
All right. It's on to Chance.
Okay. You got a lot of the big ones out of the way first. I'm going with one who, when the show started, he was one of the most unlikable people on screen. But since then, with good character arcs and writing, he's gone from one of the most hated characters to one of the most liked. I'm going with Jaime Lannister. Jaime Lannister, I mean, first of all, he proved that you don't need two hands to kick ass. It's you go through everything with Jaime. You hate him, and then you sympathize with him, with that whole arc where he's captured and sold off. And then that's when you start to sympathize with him, and then becomes noble again, and from then on you're just with him the entire time. I think Jaime Lannister, most characters in this show, have a really interesting arc. I think Jaime Lannister is he's really up there, so I really think Jaime deserves a spot on this list.
All right, I'm going first. I had him on my list. It's going to be a yes for me. Like Chance said, I like how you started off kind of hating him, but then as the series goes along, you really start to sympathize with the character. And the relationship between him and Brienne of Tarth is what I really love also. Mm-hmm. The whole interaction, the connection of her trying to save him and get him back home. And then, he's also just a badass character himself, the King Slayer pretty much. And it's a yes for me. Robert?
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the most complex characters on the show, and in a show full of complex characters, that means a lot. You really hate him throughout all of season 1 and then seasons 2 and 3 for the most part. He's captured by Catelyn. He's with Brienne. You kind of see him get some humility, and then he becomes noble again. Then he's the one-handed sister fucker again, and he just goes through a lot of changes on the show, and then where he is right now, he has left behind his nobility and ridden away to kind of set his own course, set his own path, which is really respectable. So this is one of the characters that I am most excited to see how they end his arc, because we've been with him and we've seen him change so much. So yeah, I'm definitely on the list for me.
Okay, so Jaime Lannister makes the list. Michael, what would you have said?
I would have said exactly like you have said, and also Robert said, his connection with Brienne of Tarth that we've seen over the past seasons, and when he left King's Landing, the final scene of season 7, and destroying that, he left his past behind him, his sister and everything that he was there for in King's Landing, and now he's moving on to better and greater things for his future.
Yep. All right, and Jess, what would you have said?
Oh, I think you guys have pretty much covered it. He pretty well had one of the most complete character arcs so far that we've seen on the show. And to hell with Tormund, I am on the Brienne Jaime ship. I am so on that ship.
I thought about putting Tormund on my list for a second.
Monsters.
And they don't call him Giant's Bane for nothing.
You do know her.
Oh my God.
The man who slept with bears.
Let's move on. All right, on to me. I don't know if I'm going to hate for this or not, but I don't care. I'm bringing her up. My first choice is going to be Sansa Stark. Now, you talk about someone who, in season 1 and season 2, you were like, this character's getting a bit annoying, but as the series goes along, you really start to develop that character so well. You know, what she's been through. I can see your looks over there.
We're listening. We're listening to you. Keep going.
Yeah, continue.
I just like the overarching story that she has from, you know, being married to Joffrey and all the torment that was there, and then being shipped somewhere else, and just her overarching story. And now that she's back where she belongs, it kind of feels like a proper homecoming. So let's
Can I
go
go
over to Robert.
No, I want to go first.
All right, Chance, go ahead and destroy my hopes.
Oh no, yeah. Sounds on the list. That's a fuck no from me. The way Robert feels about, I guess, Arya for the first few seasons, that's how I feel about Sansa throughout the entirety of the show. And here's the biggest problem with Sansa Stark. Sansa Stark never does anything. She has not done anything throughout the entirety of the show. Shit gets done to her, but she hasn't actually made a significant impact in anything. There are at least 25 characters I will put on this list for Sansa Stark, some of which are only been around for just like one season. So yeah, Sansa gets a giant no from me.
All right, Robert.
There are characters that have been around for like 3 episodes, like Wun that I would put over Sansa.
I'd rather put Hot Pie than Sansa.
I'd rather put Hot Pie than Sansa. Hot Pie might be in my top 10. Y'all don't know. But like,
No, please.
honestly, Sophie Turner is an incredible actress, and I think she does well enough with what she's given. Yeah, I think she's a good actress. But you want to talk about a character that does nothing for 6 seasons until finally, like, she reunites with Jon. But really, it's a tragic character because she's married to Joffrey, then she's married to Tyrion, then she's married to Ramsay. Like, she just kind of moves around a lot, and then she's with Littlefinger for a bunch of time. But she herself, really until the Battle of the Bastards, does absolutely nothing. So if we were talking best characters of like the last 2 episodes of season 7, then maybe
she's still on Nicholas. She's still on Nicholas.
But no, I gotta say no to Sansa. She's definitely the least. She's least of the Starks for sure.
May as well call her plot device Stark.
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah, they pretty much said it all. It's a no for me.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to make it. Jess, what would you have said?
I'm just gonna go ahead and at least say one redeeming part about Sansa's character, like that very short period of time there between when she ends up married to Tyrion and him ending up basically taking the fall for Joffrey's murder. Like, that period of her character, I didn't mind. Oh,
that's just because season 4 is good.
Tiny little word popular in Australia.
All right, so let's move on back to Robert.
All right, this is where things get interesting. Because there's a couple different ways. We've gotten 3 really, really big names on there. So, you can either go for another big name, or you can bring up a character, which is what I'm going to do, that has had an incredible impact on the fan base, an incredible impact on the story, and it's just a really, really well-written character with very, very little screen time. Less than an entire season this character was on, and that's Oberyn Martell. Played by Pedro Pascal, who, he is a really good actor. One of the only American actors on the entire show, comes in here and just kills it as the Red Viper of Dorne throughout all of season 4. There's a reason season 4 is my favorite season. This character is part of that reason. We see the speech and the monologue that he gives Tyrion while he's in prison that ends with him choosing to be Tyrion's champion. The battle with him versus the Mountain is one of the best one-on-one fights, if not the best one-on-one fight that the show has ever seen. He's an incredibly tragic character, which is when you think about what happened to his wife or his sister and their kids. So yeah, this is just a really, really complex, really tragic, really well-played character that has had a huge impact in a very short amount of time. So I definitely have to go Oberyn Martell.
All right, Michael.
This is a tough one for me. I actually have to agree with Robert. Oberyn is a very courageous character in Game of Thrones. He stood up for Tyrion when he didn't have to. He knew that he was going to have to fight the Mountain because Cersei is a bee. But Oberyn was willing to take on the Mountain to fight for his dead sister and the kids, and was willing to risk his life to help out Tyrion, but also to take revenge for his family.
All right, Jess.
Oh, this guy. Probably one of the very few characters in the series that I'm not gonna lie, probably shouldn't have worn clothes most of the time. I may be married when I'm not dead.
Maybe on our tombstone. I may be married, but I'm not dead.
Brand new T-shirt right there.
But just to see this, essentially up until season 4, we don't know who this guy is, but he made such an impact on season 4. Just, god damn it, they caught him monologuing.
Mm-hmm.
Supervillain rule number 1: never get caught monologuing. But he's gonna make the list.
Shut the fuck up and stab him to death already.
just get him.
Confess.
So he makes the list. Chance.
Also, probably the best character death of all time in the show.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, I mean that was an interesting one. I think I would have edged slightly towards yes, but Oberyn's, he's an outlier for me. But I'm not upset he's on the list. I love Oberyn Martell. Talk about making the most with like very well compared to Game of Thrones, very little screen time. So I'm good with Oberyn being on the list.
Yeah. I would have said yes also for pretty much the same reasons everybody else said. So no need to repeat them. Michael?
Well, maybe not everybody's reasons.
Yeah.
Are we doing the next nomination?
Yeah, you're up, bro.
All right.
Where it
This
gets
is
interesting.
also a not so hyped up character. I would say Podrick.
Yes!
Podrick, I mean, he's kind of like the klutz. The klutz throughout the whole show. Every season, he's a klutz. And he just builds on me throughout every season. It shows how he develops as a character. Squire of Tyrion, they bring with Brienne. Just learning all these things, especially from Brienne, over bickering at him, and just it's like lightens up the mood every time I see him in the show, and this makes me happy that he's still in it and not dead, and that all men must die, but
that's
I don't
the
know.
best explaining ever. I'm glad he's not dead.
And also he did get the gold back from the brothel, so he must be pretty good at something.
Yeah.
Unless he didn't go. We never.
Yeah, he never knew.
All right, Jess, we have Podrick. What do you say?
Oh. Yeah, he kind of goes from this bumbling fool attached to Tyrion, and yeah, I don't know what those hookers did for him in King's Landing, but he came out of.
I don't think we want to know.
I do.
Me too.
Yeah, so do I.
If we don't find that out before he dies, I'm gonna be so sad.
Teach me.
Just random scene. Tyrion sitting in a room. Okay, let me tell you what happened with those hookers.
He and Braun are just drunk talking. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be
Oh,
the
that'd be
reunion of Tyrion and Braun.
So we may or may not bring him up later, but yeah, he's gonna make the list for me.
Chance.
Podrick's a tough one. But I'm going to lean towards no, because I think there are more significant characters than Podrick. They're better characters than Podrick. Not that I don't like Podrick. I just think that I don't think he should be on the list when there are better characters that could take his spot.
Okay, going on to me. I'm kind of on the same train as Chance. It's gonna be a no for me. Robert.
I like Podrick more than Arya. He's on the list.
All right. Podrick makes the list.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll make top 7, but at least he's in the top 10, and that's what matters.
You better not make top 7. I'm gonna be super pissed.
I hope he does.
Let's move on to Jessica.
Okay, I know last time I kind of went with the regular guy who had a nice little redemption arc and kind of becomes, good of the goods, but every once in a while you just need kind of an irredeemable bastard on here. And there's a few of those kind of characters that we could put on here, but I kind of prefer the one that was kind of the dickwad in the shadows and kind of started this whole war between the families in the first place. And I'm gonna put up Peter Baelish, Littlefinger.
Peter Baelish. Chance.
Peter Baelish. The sneaky guy. Does the sneaky guy make the list? It's tough because Peter Baelish is one of my favorite side characters, and I like him a lot. I think the dude's cool, but I'm going to lean towards no. I think there are other characters that could take this spot. So it's a no for Peter Baelish. Very much I do like him in both of his accents.
Robert.
I like him when he's given more to do. Particularly towards the end of the most recent season and in like the middle of season 1 when he's got like a lot to do with Ned. I really like that stuff. But in between, I don't find him to be that interesting. I think Varys is a better sneaky eye in the shadows than Baelish is. So I'm going to say no. Even though he was on my honorable mentions, but I don't think he's top 10.
All right. Michael?
Yeah, it's a no for me.
Yeah, I was on the same plane also. I mean, I like Littlefinger, but I kind of agree with Robert where it's like I wish they gave him stuff to do throughout the series. And like season 2 to like 5, he's almost nowhere to be found. So
He just like disappears to the Vale. That's it.
The Vale, yeah. All right, so Peter Baelish does not make the list. Chance?
Okay, I'm gonna go with one that you guys might not have thought of, but I think she is one of the most badass women in the entire show, and that's Olenna Tyrell. Olenna Tyrell is, I always equate her to the McGonagall of this series. She's someone who like you wouldn't expect to be as awesome as she is, but she does have like a lot of pull. I mean, like anytime she's like, first of all, there's the grandma factor, which is always a fun dynamic to have. Second of all, she actually does have a lot of influence within like the context of the show. I mean, she kills Joffrey. She and Highgarden have like a massive influence on like the war on King's Landing, and I think she's a character who like she's had so many just like great fantastic moments. Like even she had my favorite death of this most recent season, where you're just like, hey, you tell your bitch of a wife that I killed her son. I want her to know that. I'm like, I can't let someone like that at least go unnoticed on this show. So I'm throwing up Olenna Tyrell.
All right, Robert.
That's a really interesting one. I'm gonna say no because I think there are better examples. I think there are better, specifically female characters on the show that are have more to do. I definitely think Olenna has a lot of like really good quips that are fantastic, and definitely a good death, and definitely just like a presence and a way she carries herself. I think is really interesting. But I think, I mean, we have only 4 spots left to go. I don't know if she's.
Well, because you let Podrick on, you dick.
Olenna wasn't even in my honorable mentions. I really like certain scenes with her, but I don't think she's quite top 10 level. So I'm gonna say no.
All right, I'm gonna go next. I might be the only one to say yes on this choice, but while I didn't have her on my main list, when Chance brought her up, I was like, oh yeah, this is a badass character who has her hand in so many elements so many story arcs that we're following in the show. And without her, I don't think it would really work out as well as we're expecting it to. So I'm saying yes. Michael?
Ooh. Olenna for me was, I don't know, she grew on me when we started to see more of her. She had a strong voice when she was talking to Marjorie and Sansa. She was the sneaky old lady that took advantage of other people, and I do think she does belong on this list, mainly because she does have a great death. She did prove herself in the end that she did kill Jeffrey, and she had many other ways to use people in order of her favor, and to save people that she loved and cared about.
All right, so Alina Torrell makes the list. Jess, what would you have said?
I kept going back and forth in my head on which house matriarch I wanted to put on the list. And as much as I love her character combination of Professor McGonagall and Dorothy from the Golden Girls, because woman got sass, I think another family matriarch would have been above her.
All right. Okay, so I believe it's on to me, correct?
Yeah.
I was not expecting that one to get through.
I wasn't either.
I have to change my whole strategy now.
Well, you had to change mine when Podrick got on.
Podrick deserves to be on.
He does.
Not.
He's going to be number 1.
Oh man,
I will die on the Podrick pyre of making him in the top 7.
Robert, you go next because I'm still stuck between 2.
Okay. All right, I'll go. This is a character, one of the strongest written female characters in the entire show, who really comes into her own in seasons 3 and 4. Originally maybe seen not so much as a main character, but still important to the story. We've seen her be seen as just a love interest. The chemistry with her and the guy that she's with is off the charts. And I'm not talking about Daenerys. This is Ygritte.
As soon as you said that, I'm like, there's no way you're talking about Daenerys.
No, it's not.
No.
Well, Daenerys and Jason Momoa have a lot of chemistry.
Khal Drogo.
Khal Drogo, yeah. Khal Drogo. But Ygritte is one of, again, a character that only has, 2 seasons, 1.5 seasons of screen time, but still really, really impacts the show. One of the most vivid memories for me. I cried when this character died.
Really?
Yeah, I did. The Battle of the Wall is intense, dude. That's my favorite battle in the show. Different story. But Ygritte is an incredibly interesting character. Before Ygritte, Jon was just like an emotionless rock that walked around, and for some reason we were forced to spend time with that character. And now that Ygritte's gone, Jon is an emotionless rock that we are just forced to spend time with that character. Because we're told that he's important, but like it doesn't show. So Ygritte really humanizes one of the main characters of the show in a way that no other romance in the show has ever done. This is the best romance in the show. She's also incredibly badass on her own, being one of the wildlings fighting Mance Rayder's army. She really stands by her own morals and values, even when she finds out that Jon is a crow and works with the Night's Watch. She attacks him, tries to kill him. She's eventually is killed by the young kid, Ollie. Was that his name? I don't remember his name.
Ollie.
But yeah, Ygritte is an incredibly important character just for the sense that we don't give a shit about Jon unless Ygritte is there. So, and even on her own, she's incredibly badass, and Ygritte deserves to be on this list. Should I just pencil her in now?
All right, hold on. I'll go first, and I'm gonna give her a yes. She's on my list. Everything, Robert said and more. She's badass with Jon teaming up with him. She's badass by herself with the wildlings. She's just a breath of fresh air going into the third and fourth season, I believe.
Yeah, she was introduced in season 3. I don't remember which episode.
But yeah, I mean, that gave Jon more character development going into the later seasons. So yeah, it's definitely a yes for me. Michael?
Robert's gonna hate me. I'm gonna say no.
No, you're not. You're serious, bro.
Yes,
You
I
know
am.
nothing, Michael.
I don't know.
You know nothing. Jon Snow is iconic.
Right. Can I go next after Michael?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say no because I didn't really connect with her. She is a very strong and empowering woman in Game of Thrones, but I have a gut feeling that I just don't want her on the list. I feel like there's better characters that can take her spot. And yeah, it's no for me. It was a hard
You don't
choice.
like when they make out on the top of the wall? Come on, dude.
Can I go next?
Robert, you just wish that was you because she's a redhead.
That's not true.
I guess we know Robert's thing now. But Hunter, can I go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I kind of see this as kind of like math. Like in math, like a negative times a negative equals a positive. Well, in the case of Ygritte and Jon Snow, uninteresting plus uninteresting equals interesting. So yeah, Ygritte is just as one note as Jon is throughout the entire. It's literally Ygritte is 2.5 seasons of nothing Jon Snow. I don't understand. I don't understand the hype behind Ygritte. I mean, yeah, sure, it's nice to see Jon actually look like he enjoys something for once in his life, but yeah, no.
Jess, please.
Jess, you're the final decision. It's up to you, Jess.
Here, guys, I actually have a slight emergency. I need to.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Real quick, yes or no to Ygritte?
Sure.
Ah!
All right.
Hope everything's okay, Jess.
Okay, we're down to 4. This is going to be hard, but Ygritte makes the list.
Hell yeah.
Robert's happy.
Okay, how are we going to do this now with 4 people?
You've done this with 4 people.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you did.
We'll say the person who's nominated doesn't count, and you need to get 2 of the remaining 3.
Okay.
That's what we did for best comic book villains.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best Marvel.
Yeah, the person nominated won't have their vote count.
All right, Michael, go ahead.
Well, I'm just gonna throw her out there. I'm gonna say Daenerys. She is. You can see how she builds up from this young girl who is scared of everything, and then how she just builds up in the later seasons, and she's being more courageous in the decisions. She's empowering to the people of
Marine
and all the other surrounding cities. She frees the slaves. She builds an army from nothing, and she receives 3 dragons. And she's pretty badass to have 3 dragons. She's now in Westeros, and then she knows what she wants. And seeing her connection with Jon Snow, right when we met them, we knew when they met each other, you knew that something was up between them, and that when I see them together, it makes me believe that the Targaryen dynasty will go on, and that
Except
and
that
it's
they're
just
cousins.
yeah. I mean,
Or aunt, aunt and
incest is
nephew.
key. Incest is key. Purity, and I don't know. Just I think Daenerys should be in this list.
All right, Chance.
Yeah. It's a shame that Podrick and Ygritte both got on the list before Daenerys, but yeah, I think putting her on the list is a no-brainer.
Yeah. All right, on to me. And this was one of the two that I had trouble picking. So it's a hell yes for me. Everything that Michael said about her really going from this kind of timid, scared little girl, and then her whole arc ending with her and the dragons and going to King's Landing and really looking to wreck shit and take control. That's a great overarching story for this character, so it's a yes for me. Robert.
It actually would have been no for me. I think Daenerys is a character who is best defined by those around her. I don't think her herself is that interesting. But when you team her up with Missandei and Jorah and Barristan Selmy and
Sand guy.
Tyrion and
You say sand guy?
Missandei. I said
Oh,
Missandei.
Missandei. Okay.
Yeah, and what's his name? I keep wanting to say Wormtongue, but that's Lord of the Rings.
Grey Worm.
Grey Worm, that's it, thank you. I think she's only, and John, obviously, in the most recent season, I think she's only as good as the supporting characters around her. I don't think that she really brings a lot to the table by herself. And when she's with her army and her dragons and all of her advisors, she's good. But she does a really shit job of ruling Marine. And the Marine storyline is the worst part of that season because it's so boring and they're just trying to buy time until they can finally bring her to King's Landing at the end of the show. And it's so clear that that was so shoddily written. So for the Marine storyline alone, I would have said no. But I respect that, you know, she's the main character of the show and deserves to be on the list.
Yep. So I guess she makes it on the list, correct? Because there's two of us. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go on to Chance. We have one spot remaining.
There's like, there are a lot of people that could go this spot who will not make it because Podrick had to get on. But
Because Arya had to get on.
no, I mean because Podrick had to get on. Okay, guys. Here's the thing about Rickon Stark. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, God.
Please no.
I thought you
No.
were serious there for a second. Chance just gave me a heart attack.
All right. My real one.
Rickon, just go in a diagonal. Just zigzag.
Zigzag. Goddammit.
Fuck's sake, Rickon.
Don't run straight, zigzag.
Go run straight, you fucking moron. Okay. No. Aside from this, my real vote is. It's a tough one, but I'm gonna go with the Hound, Sandor Clegane. And now, this is kind of like I kind of equate this character like Casey Affleck. He's trying to emerge from the shadow of his much more famous brother. And I think with that, the character of the Hound has a lot of pathos. He has a lot to him. The whole dynamic with Arya, I think, is one of the best dynamics of the entire show. And you know, I think he has a lot of fulfilling arcs. He has, you know, a quality about him that makes him really interesting to watch, just because, you know, he is someone he's been scored in the past. He's been, you know, he's been shaped by, you know, his experience and like the horrible things that have been done to him. But in more recent seasons, like I think after season 2, it's him trying to, you know, get beyond that and get to a point where like his pain doesn't define him anymore. So I'm throwing up the Hound.
All right, Robert, we have the Hound.
This is really, really tough. Because I think the Hound has some of the best one-liners in the entire show. And I think you're definitely right about how his relationship with Arya and that journey that those two go on is really, really like one of the best parts of those seasons that it's that storyline is a part of, that subplot is a part of. I think it's a really complex character with what you think happened between him and his brother. My problem with this character comes in the most recent seasons when we see him just like retire to be a peaceful like log chopper. And like, I just don't buy that character wants a happy ending. Like, obviously, the happy ending is spoiled by the Brotherhood Without Banners, but I don't believe that because I don't believe that the guy who said "fuck the king" to Joffrey's face is the same guy who wants to retire and leave a life of violence behind and live with a bunch of priests.
Getting thrown down a mountain changes you.
So, well, yeah. And plus, I didn't really like the death fake where, like, he's just yelling "kill me" to Arya. I'm gonna say no, but I will not be upset if he does make the list.
All right, I'll go next. The Hound is really hard, but I'm gonna have to say no, especially with one slot available.
Podrick.
Hey, I didn't want Podrick.
Podrick deserves
Yes, he
it.
does.
All right, Michael.
Podrick's gonna end up on the Iron Throne.
Yeah, it would have been a no too for me. I mean, he is a good character in the show. The show is depth, and his and Arya's connection and journey was captivating, and showing how he could develop and show kindness to a little girl when he used to be enemies with the Starks.
All right, so the Hound doesn't make the list. I'm sorry, Chance. You can be mad at the Story Worlds later.
I don't care what Robert's next ballot is. I'm gonna say no right after that.
If we even get to mine.
You too, Michael.
Yeah, it's on to me. And one, but I'm going with somebody who was my second choice behind Daenerys, and that's Jorah Mormont.
Sir Friendzone?
Sir
That's your next
Friendzone.
pick?
Friendzone, yes.
Captain Friendzone.
But the reason I like this character is because when he's with Daenerys, you could tell that he's trying to get with her, but at the end of the day, he's still going to serve beside her and ends up really becoming a friend to her later on. And really, even when he's with Tyrion and he's with Sam, he's still like such a captivating character to me. And when he gets the disease and he's with Sam and trying to figure out what can I do to stop this disease, I thought that was a really interesting story arc. I just like the fact that he's so loyal to whoever he's with. And that's why I think he should at least be in the top 10. Robert?
No, he wasn't in my top 20 when I brainstormed my characters. Jorah is an interesting enough character. He probably should have just died at Grayskull, so we never had to see him again. He betrayed Daenerys twice. You can tell that when he's with Daenerys, he's thinking only with his boner and with nothing else. I'm not wrong, guys. I'm just calling it like it is. So I don't think he is a bad character at all, but he's not top 10.
All right, Michael?
Yeah. It's also a no for me. I'm sorry, but it's just that, I don't know, I don't really see he is a complex character in the story. He has been banished from his own father, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a no for me.
All right, Chance?
Yeah, no, I think Robert said that. This is a guy who thinks what's between his legs and not what's between his ears, which caused him to do some stupid shit. And yeah, I mean, it's like as good as the guy who I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, it's
Ray something, isn't it?
It's Ray something. Yeah, Ray something. But yeah, as soon as the thing about him is it's he's just one note. It's just Daenerys, love me, and just no. But we already know it's not gonna happen. So it's why are we wasting time with us? So and that dude does a great job. I like the actor, but yeah, no, not that character.
Yeah. Robert? And Chance is an automatic no, so.
That's all right. I think I can get this character on. So I'm between two. Both are sort of introduced earlier on than we sort of think, and then in the more recent seasons they really come into their own as a really truly fully fleshed out character that has a purpose in mind. And a little bit manipulative, a little bit despicable, but also to a point endearing. And that's Marjorie Tyrell. I think this
Girl
is.
who will sleep with anything to get to the top.
Yep.
I think this is who I would have put on instead of Alana, because I think Marjorie is given more to do in the show. I think she was originally with Renly, and I think the just a couple episodes we get with her and Renly is when she's introduced, and we don't really know a ton about her, and then Renly is killed, and she moves to King's Landing, where I think obviously she's the only character on the entire show who sort of reigns in and controls Joffrey. She's manipulative to him and really rules through him. And then she does the same with Tommen in the brief period that they are married.
Tommen's not that hard to control, though.
Well,
if we're being honest.
it's also a little bit strange. Like it's sort of cathartic to see her get her comeuppance. But at the same time, her goal is to have power, and she will do that by any means necessary. And sometimes it's a little bit manipulative, but also sometimes it's kind of sweet. Like when her and Tommen first meet, like it's a little bit weird to think that an actual endearing relationship on the show can be made between a teenage boy and a 30-something-year-old girl. But like it's an actual genuine relationship, and you like see that she might actually care for him, and he clearly really cares for her. So I think she has a goal in mind, and she does everything she can to pursue that goal, and I think that is worth bringing up at least. So I think she's top 10.
All right, Michael.
It's gonna be a hard no for me.
Oh, hard no.
Hard no.
She seems to be controlled from Olenna throughout the whole time when she has been in power, especially with Joffrey and with Tommen. You can clearly see that she's taking every word from advice from Olenna and using it to manipulate Joffrey or Tommen, and that the only thing that she really cares about is her family, and especially her brother when he gets locked up, and that. I don't know, but it's a no for me.
Damn.
All right, and it's already enough from Chance.
Hold on. Let me just say my piece anyways. Hold on now. I actually really do like Marjorie. It's not just because Natalie Dormer is my woman crush, but no, yeah, she's interesting in the fact that she's like she really shows up to be like an opportunist. And like I said, like she will sleep with anything and anyone to get to the top. Which I mean, it's makes her a lot. It makes her a much more layered character than she could be with just like I guess like hot girl wants to be queen, but it's still enough.
Girl who wants to be queen. So is it a yes or no, Chance?
It's still a no.
Okay. So he does not make the list, and I probably would have said no also. All right, Michael?
All right.
We're going to be stuck on this last spot forever.
My
No, we'll
choice-
agree eventually. Once we get to Serial Pharrell, we'll finally agree.
This is the last one. I'm gonna have to say Hodor. He only had one mission throughout all the seasons, and that was hold the door so that Bran's life could be saved, so they can further out his mission. But I don't know. Hodor was a very extremely likable character. He's this huge giant that everybody likes. He's kind. He helps out he helps out Bran. He just carries him around everywhere, and that I don't know. It's just I feel bad for him that he's in the position, because in the end, when you see him holding the door, you're like, yeah, he's gonna die. But Bran knew that he was going to die because to save Bran's life. So he basically forced Hodor to kill himself so that he could live. That's why I think Hodor should be on this list, because he was forced to basically die so he can save Bran.
Technically speaking, Bran's an asshole.
Yes.
Okay. Well, hold on. I'll defend Bran for a second, because he didn't force Hodor to kill himself. He accidentally He accidentally like
Oh no,
incepted
him
his
morphing
mind.
into the past was intentional. That was absolutely intentional.
But like he didn't mean to like go into Hodor's mind.
But he did.
He might as well have.
It's
Chance
okay, whatever.
Hodor.
But Hodor is interesting because like the dude has so much character despite the fact that he only says like he only says 2 syllables throughout the entirety of the show.
He's pretty much the Groot of Game of Thrones.
Exactly. And see, looking at who else we have left. I'm gonna lean towards no, because I think there are better, more defined characters that we can put on here. It's not Hodor. Not that I don't love Hodor, but I do think there's a better character that can take his place.
All right, Robert.
Yeah, I agree. Hodor is absolutely my favorite character in Bran's entire storyline, but boy, is that a low bar. So I'm gonna say no. I think there's better characters that can take his place. I do really like him, and his death is one of the most impactful of that season, and that's saying a lot because that's a really big season for deaths. But there's better characters than Hodor.
All right, Hodor does not make the list. I probably would have said no for the same reason of I feel like there's a few more better developed characters. I mean, Hodor is still great, but with one spot remaining, you know, like I just couldn't. Chance.
Oh, my nomination next.
Yep.
Do the right thing,
All
there,
right, well,
Chance.
looking this, we have a lot of good guys. I think we should try to get a villain on this list. And is there someone you want to punch in the face more than Cersei Lannister? Maybe a little morally permissible, but Cersei Lannister, played by Lena Headey. First of all, Lena Headey is just absolutely fantastic in this role. Second of all, Cersei Lannister is like she's someone who like she had a lot of bad things under her, but at the same time she gets shit done. Like the entire show, you could rename the King of Landing stuff to Cersei gets shit done part whatever.
Part 1.
Part 2.
Part 2.
But no, yeah, like she is probably like the most wicked, cruel, and vile person on this show. But at the same time, I'm not gonna say you empathize with her, but you see why she is the way she is. Like she's someone who like she wants to like she like everybody on this show wants the fucking throne, and she's willing to she'll go to any lengths to get it, even to the point where she coerces her own son into jumping off a ledge. But Tom is a pussy anyway, so it doesn't matter. I think Cersei should be on this list.
All right, I'll go next, and I'm gonna give Cersei yes. I mean, you know, if you look at just the character, like you want to hate her. It's a character you love to hate, and at the same time, like Chance said, you understand why she's doing what she's doing. She wants the throne. She wants the power. She wants to keep the Lannister name on the throne, and she'll do anything to keep that. So I'm going to give it a yes. Robert?
This is really interesting because there's a different villain that I wanted to take the spot, but Cersei was ranked higher up in my original list than that other villain that I was going to bring up next. So by that logic, I am going to have to say yes and put Cersei on the list for the reasons you guys just said. Extremely manipulative, definitely one of the masterminds behind the show as far as who's sitting on the throne and when, manipulative over her children. And even though she is an evil hag, she also really, really cares for her children, for Joffrey, for Myrcella, for Tom, and for all of them. So, yeah.
All right, so Cersei makes the list. Michael, what would you have said?
I would have said yes too, even though I probably would have argued that Ramsay may have been a better villain.
I probably would have said Ramsay next if we had an extra spot. Thanks, Podrick.
Thanks,
Hey.
Podrick.
Thanks, Egret.
And Podrick.
Egret deserves to be here too. Thanks, Arya and Olenna. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Okay.
You're
So,
ageist.
All
Look,
right,
we're choosing the youngest character and the oldest. Yeah, you got me.
Yes.
all right. We have our top 10 list. We have Tyrion Lannister, Arya Stark, Ser Davos, Jaime Lannister. I'm sorry, I must say her name wrong. How do you say her name?
Oberyn.
Oberyn Martell.
Yes, there you go.
Right.
Podrick. Podrick.
Mhm.
Olenna Tyrell, Ygritte, Daenerys Targaryen, and Cersei Lannister. All right, so now we have to vote 3 of them off. So write down who you want to vote off.
Oh, this is easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. It is.
All right, is everyone ready?
Yeah.
I'll start. Podrick. Robert.
Olenna.
Michael.
Oh. Alana, can't really see it, but it's Alana.
Chance.
We're deadlocked. I have Podrick.
Do we flip a coin? Is that what happens here?
I think we just vote again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not changing my vote.
Well, then we're at an impasse.
Let me grab a coin.
No bullshit. No bullshit. No bullshit.
No. I'm gonna go get one.
I better see both sides of that fucking coin.
Alana's out, yay!
All right, so as he comes back, I guess we're doing heads or tails on this one.
I guess so. Thank God we're not doing this live.
Yeah. I could cut this part out right here.
Yep.
Hurry up, Robert.
Probably can't find his wallet.
Okay, I want to see both sides of that coin first.
So I see
Heads?
heads and a heads.
Tails.
Both sides of
Okay.
the coin. Bullshit.
The quarter. Good.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
fine.
good.
So heads
All right,
Podrick
Chance,
lose,
call it.
So no. Heads is gonna be Podrick is off.
and
Tails is Olenna is
losing.
off. Ready? And Tails is showing. So Olenna is off.
Fuck you.
That was fair. You saw that whole thing. That was fair.
I still have to. Let me have to like it.
You don't. You're absolutely right.
All
I
right.
wouldn't
next
do
vote.
either.
Me and Chance don't have to change anything.
Yeah, I'm not changing.
Now
I
it's
ain't
actually-
changing. Yes.
Now it's actually difficult.
I might as well.
No, Michael, don't give in.
No, I'm not. No,
Michael.
Michael.
no, I'm not giving her. I'm not giving him in. You know
Don't
me.
give Podrick in. Podrick is in. He's gonna be in
All
the
right.
top 7.
On to
He's
me,
gonna be top
Podrick.
7.
Robert.
Arya.
Michael.
Arya.
Yes.
Chance. Motherfucker.
All right, we're doing it again, boys.
Let's do it again.
Heads is Podrick is off. Tails is Arya is off.
You know what? Switch around, Tails.
All right, we can. Oh, sorry. I'm still showing. Tails is Arya is off. Heads is Podrick is off.
All right, go.
And it's Tails again.
Motherfucker.
Wait. So then we say Tails is.
Tails is Arya is off.
Wait. What? Not that shit. Tails Podrick was off.
No. Tails was. Heads was still Podrick. I kept him the same from both rounds.
I thought we just said to switch. Fuck. All right.
Motherfucker.
Rip. Where he's
Yeah,
getting in the top. Mike, we need to coordinate again.
This is crap.
Well, which one though?
Michael, we need to coordinate here.
No. He'll be a cold to hell if Podrick makes the top 7.
All right, I'm putting this. Oof.
On to me.
Putting this one on. I'm ready.
Yeah, we're good.
Didn't change. Get off, Podrick.
Michael, what you got?
Oberyn.
I also had Oberyn.
All right. Back to the coin.
I'm so glad that we made that work, Mike.
Robert, do you want to say him?
I can. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have Tyrion, Davos, Jaime, Oberyn, Ygritte, Daenerys, and Cersei.
That's correct. I was afraid I was going to screw up some names, so that's why you said it. All right, so vote for your number 7. I got it.
Oh man.
All right. I think I know what Chance is going to say.
Yep.
Robert?
I have Daenerys. Sorry, guys. It's just a
Michael?
personal thing.
I have Oberyn.
Chance?
Egret.
I think we're all going to be different. I have Davos.
Okay. Well.
I will change my answer to Oberyn, but I'm not getting rid of Davos or Ygritte. I'll change my answer to Oberyn
Okay.
so that he can leave.
All right, so Oberyn is number 7. All right, number 6.
Go ahead, Robert.
All right. Robert?
Still Daenerys.
Michael?
Egret.
Chance?
Egret.
I also have Ygritte.
That's disappointing. She made top 7. That's all I care.
Yeah.
I'll kiss my ass, Robert.
I love you, Chance. Don't leave me.
Number 5.
Who's left?
Daenerys is there.
We have
Yeah,
Tyrion, Jaime, Daenerys, Cersei, and Jaime, I believe, right?
It's Tyrion, Davos, Jaime,
Davos, Jaime,
Daenerys, and Cersei.
Cersei. Yeah. I'll start. I have Davos. Robert?
Still Daenerys. Davos is an incredible character. I don't know what you're talking about.
Michael?
Tyrion.
Chance?
Shit. Well,
What you got?
I don't know what this solves. I said Davos.
Davos is number 5.
He made top 5. It's good enough for me.
Yep. Number 4.
Save that paper, Robert.
Oh, I haven't changed it. And yes, I do think Podrick is a better character than Daenerys.
You're out of your mind.
I just do.
That's the craziest thing I've heard. Is Toy Story 3 didn't deserve a nomination for Best Picture.
It didn't. I don't like being the one with hot takes. I'm not a fan of this position. I mean, it's still Daenerys, man. It hasn't changed.
Michael?
Daenerys.
Chance?
Yeah, I'm with you on this one, Daenerys.
Yeah, I also have Daenerys.
I changed my answer now.
You ain't the only one with hot takes, Robert.
That's not a hot take. She's in the top 5
Where she belongs.
with 3 superior characters still to go. Like, that makes sense.
3 Lannisters.
Yeah, all 3 are like.
Technically, Cersei is a Baratheon, but
If you want to get technical. All right. I'll start. I have Cersei. Robert?
yeah, Cersei.
Michael?
Cersei.
And Chance?
Clean sweep, Cersei.
Okay.
Why couldn't we be in this sync earlier?
We were. We got 6 characters on the board without a single one being denied at the start of the show.
Well,
Patrick.
correct. You got 4 characters on without one being denied because Hunter was a moron and threw up Sansa.
Oh, I forgot about Sansa.
Yeah. Hey, fuck you, Chance. All right. So we're voting for our number 1.
Vote for your number 1.
Easy.
Number 1.
Okay.
Number 1.
Number 1. All right. Is everyone ready?
Yeah.
Tyrion. Robert.
Tyrion.
Michael.
Jamie.
Chance.
Tyrion. Hashtag Ipslap.
Woo! It's left.
I did not kill Joffrey, but I wish that I did. I wish I could kill a single one.
All right. Let me write this down real quick.
Although there is an argument to be made that Jaime is a more complex character than Tyrion.
Yeah, you can make that argument.
You can make the argument.
Yeah.
Jaime was number 1.
Guys, Hot Pie, I think, is a really underrated character.
Oh yeah.
What does Hot Pie do except make bread shaped like bears?
You know what, guys? That pigeon that Arya killed before she saw her father die, man, that pigeon had one of the most complex stories. That was actually Bran warging into the pigeon.
Can we talk? Can we
Yo,
talk about
mind blown.
characters?
Okay, our top 7 is Oberyn, Brit, Sir Davos, Daenerys, Cersei Lannister, Jaime Lannister, and Tyrion Lannister. All 3 are the Lannisters. They reign supreme. And holy
Funny
shit,
how we
that was a whack. That was a
Hear me
weird
roar.
episode.
there are no Starks in the top 7,
There
as
were
it
no-
should be.
There were no Starks because they all died.
Ned is the only one who is even on my honorable mentions.
Oh yeah. Did everyone have some honorable mentions?
I have a
Uh,
list that I can go through quick.
I have some.
Yeah, I have some too.
Who's going first?
Robert, you go first.
All right, so I'm just gonna list off names. I got Brienne of Tarth, Gendry, Ramsay, who we mentioned, Varys, Ned, Tywin, Syrio Forel, Arya's sword master from season 1, and then Barristan Selmy.
All right, I'll go next. So I had Ned, Ramsay, Joffrey, Carl, and Walter Frey.
Carl?
Carl.
Oh, Khal Drogo.
Carl.
Carl.
I am
Carl.
Carl of House Banks.
Khal Drogo, yeah.
Michael.
I had Bronn, Brienne, Ramsay, and Tormund.
And Chance.
Yeah.
You pretty much got everything. I got Bronn, Khal Drogo, Tywin, Ghost the Direwolf. I put on my honorable mention.
Woo.
Tormund. I'm trying to remember hold on. Try to find his name. Benjen I liked when he popped up.
Oh, yeah.
Jojen Reed and Beric Dondarrion.
I really thought about Beric or Thoros. I really thought about nominating one of those two.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. After a weird but fun show, we have come to the end. Let's do our plugs. Robert, where can people find you online, Little Hobbit?
That sure was a list. You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at RBRTPRKR98. That's my first and last name, no vowels plus a year. You can find me doing hosting and admin duties over at Movie Battleground on the Worldwide Movie Games Network. You can find me doing admin duties on Take 3 Productions. You can find me on my weekly podcast with my friend Zach Ford, where we talk about movies, music, and other random banter. That is found at Fireside Chit Chat on iTunes and Podbean. And that's about it.
All right, Michael.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook. Search up my name, and yeah, I mean, I pop up here or there and try to do my best. And
By
yeah,
the way,
it's me.
thank you for coming on tonight. Did you have fun?
Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun. I wish Patrick got top 7, but at least he made top 10.
We made sure it did not happen.
Yeah. Thanks, Jim.
All right, Chad, do your plugs.
You can find my Twitter and Instagram at chancewars_91. Find me at Full Metal Media. I host a show very much like this, is structured, called Full Metal 5. You can look at my YouTube channel, Chance the Critic, and yeah, check me out on the Movie Trivia Showdown.
Woo! The Cobra is going to attack, baby. And if you guys enjoyed this video and all this madness that's on my channel, hit that like button, subscribe to filmnerdtv below, check out my Patreon, my Stardust, and my Twitch at filmnerdtv. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We'll see you soon. Peace.